centers. Joining us now to connect the dots, Stephen Byrd. He is Global Head of Thematic and Sustainability Research at Morgan Stanley. Welcoming you on set.
Pleasure.
Stephen, great to see you in person.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Is there a price point, this one or another one?
Yes.
Because the AI revolution's powered literally halfway by natural gas. Is there a price point that kills that?
I think we can absorb higher gas prices because the cost of power is a small part of the overall data center economics. Or put more positively, the value of the intelligence that we're essentially producing from these data centers is so incredibly high that we can absorb higher gas prices. What we cannot absorb, though, is risk of loss of supply. And so what we're finding is security of supply, security of making sure in all circumstances that these data centers will always have the power they need. That turns out to be a big deal. And on top of that, you want to make sure you don't impact anyone else's energy costs. That's become a huge political issue.
I think that it's the indirect fault where you could say, and again, we're so fortunate. We are so fortunate that our nat gas price is still so low. But I got my heating bill or whatever it was that we got last. Was it heating and electric? The numbers here, if it goes any higher, even 5, 10, 15% higher from here, because of what's going on in Iran, not because of we will look for someone to get mad at. And
100%.
If that's the data centers and it slows their development.
Totally agree. When we talk to the hyperscalers and folks in the power space, more and more they're going to go completely off grid. So they can go to politicians and say, look, we understand there's so much sensitivity. We're going to completely disconnect so we have no impact. And I think we might even go further where they provide one-way power, meaning there's power plants at the data center. And when the grid needs it, that data center will voluntarily provide additional power to the grid to lower prices. I think we're going to go one up and try to lower prices.
I think that's great. Is there any reason that that's not a positive?
Just no. Everyone wins. It takes time. There's some more engineering work that has to be done, but that's where we're headed. That's the new table stakes, is making sure you do not hurt anyone else and then ultimately provide a real benefit to the community.
So we have 3 Virginians around this table. Okay. You know, I'm a part-time. I was born in California, but went to high school and college in Virginia. You part-time lived there. So Loudoun County, the capital data centers. Here's what's interesting. Loudoun County's property taxes have gone down.
Absolutely.
Loudoun County's electricity costs have gone down. I'm not singing the praises of utilities. Believe me.
I'd put a data center in my backyard if my property taxes would go down.
Would you really? Would you actually do that?
I mean, it seems kind of quiet and low-key. Yeah. I don't know.
So but the point is, this whole demonization of data centers for power costs, the data, it's a little hard to find it all the time.
Well, that's right. The studies would say for Loudoun, for example, this has been a massive economic miracle for Loudoun. If you went back 10, 15 years, that was a very poor county. And my family used to have some land there. We sold our land a little early. These days, you can sell your land for a lot of money. But I
played Loudoun County and Loudoun Valley high schools in football.
Us too. We always lost in lacrosse. So I
one was
like,
black
they weren't
and
that great. I'm
red.
like, well.
The other one was green and yellow, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, this has been a game changer for the county. But the politics in Virginia are changing. There's more opposition to incremental data center growth. That's a concern. And I see that spreading to so many states.
Did you see the NBC poll where they asked a variety of topics, political parties, people of interest? The 3 lowest ranked were AI, one of the political parties, and Iran. In other words, AI is so unpopular in this country, even as people are obviously using it quite a lot.
Absolutely. Both power prices, but also jobs. Jobs are showing up as a big question mark as well. So this is why the data center community has got to come forward with an approach that shows a net benefit. They have a PR problem. I think we all see that. They need to change their business model. They're working to do that. The good news is there's enough economics to make that work for everybody.
Trying to flip the script. We were trying to be positive with Nancy Tangler a few minutes ago. And not positive about what's going on, but bullish, I guess, on this country.
Yes.
And if we see data centers struck, like we saw one in the Middle East recently, hit by an errant missile, or not an errant, I mean, it was intentionally targeted. You just wonder if that's bullish for the United States, because we are blessed geographically. We're kind of not near anybody else. And we got I was going to say something else, a lot of natural gas.
We do. I mean, I think as we go through 2026, intelligence is going to become the ultimate commodity. And every nation is going to want to control that as carefully as they can. So that means controlling your data centers, controlling who gets the chips. that does argue for greater presence of data centers in the United States. But keep in mind, every nation is going to try to do the same thing.
Quick question for you. So obviously China has an issue with getting its hands.
Yes.
People are talking about how much they can pivot to renewables. And in this country as well, when we talk about the Mera project in Texas, they're going to start doing AI data centers instead of Bitcoin or along with it. And they're doing a lot of renewables down there as well. Where are we? Because the energy kind of transition happened. Now we have these price spikes, and then we took a step back from moving into solar, for instance. But where are we on the deployment, both in China and the U.S., of alternatives?
Yeah, it's a good question. China has an abundance of every kind of power. And that's a real advantage compared to the United States. They have an abundance of cheap, available power. Their grid is fairly robust. In the U.S., we have a shortage of both the electrons and the grid that we need. So we need both. Now, Team Trump is trying to eliminate barriers to get more power onto the grid and provide more electricity. So that is good. Renewables alone won't do it, though. We need renewables, but we also need a lot of natural gas. I'd say broadly, the permitting process in the U.S. just takes longer than China. It just takes time to get that infrastructure in place. That's why, again, I think the data center community will just take control of their own destiny, build their own mini grids that are completely separated. I think that's the direction we're headed.
Who wins then?
I'd say anybody in the infrastructure space, if you have a power bottleneck, a labor bottleneck, equipment bottleneck, the value of debottlenecking is going to go up. As the value of AI goes up because these tools get more capable, we want to eliminate every bottleneck. And what we've noticed is everybody who owns a bottleneck is getting paid more and more to debottleneck, to spend more money to provide more supply.